Now, for further clarity on this matter, we are joined on the phone lines by Deputy Spokesperson at the Presidency, Shamima Muslim. Thank you very much, Shamima, for joining us.
Prima, good evening, and how have you been?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, oh. You guys haven't come to visit me yet. Why? Why?
Don't worry, we're on our way. But quickly, let's look at these issues. So, based on the data available to you, what proportion of appointees have so far declared their assets, and are you able to tell us how many more are yet to comply?
The majority of us have all declared,
Right.
and the Chief of Staff Office would have the updated info on those remaining. They are not a lot at all. Also, mind you that there are a number of appointments that are still ongoing, including those that were made after 31st of March. So for them, there is a slide window up to Wednesday. But even beyond Wednesday, with all subsequent new appointments, there will be a reasonable window for them to also go and file their asset declaration forms. At the caution, however, is that they need to at most
Hello? Yeah.
Today face it.
Right, we lost you a little bit there, but I'm sure we can just move on. But looking at the way the president is very serious about this, why hasn't the government or maybe the president decided against, why hasn't he, put out the names of those who have defaulted out yet?
I beg your pardon, the line dropped a bit.
So I was,
You were asking?
yes, I was asking that the president seemed very particular about asset declaration and ensuring that his appointees follow through this. Why has the president not put out the names of defaulters out?
Well, those that have the deadline now has been extended to Wednesday, isn't it? I'm sure if it's necessary for him to do that, he will do that. But they know themselves, and the president also knows them.
But for those who have defaulted, are not taking things for granted because 31st March was quite a while ago and they haven't done that. Would a president probably, yeah.
Indeed, and they didn't do well. And so today they are faced with the consequence of that, action. There are those who have explained that they were out of the jurisdiction before the deadline, which also presupposes that if you knew you had to travel, you ought to have done it early. A lot of them also just drive straight into deep work. So some even may have thought they had done it and they had forgotten or something of the sort. But a lot of them, a few of those that missed the deadline had a lot on their plate. So I can understand how they may have missed it, but it's no excuse really. And so I hope that the forfeiture of their 3-month salary would ginger them into the future to not take anything for granted at all.
Right, now let's look at the code of conduct that was launched today. What would you say are your key highlights and how does the presidency plan to enforce them? Right.
So the president has given the strongest indication yet that he intends to enforce to the letter the guidelines, and if you breach them, you face the full consequences. And you did play part of the voice. The sanctions will range from dismissal, which is a termination, a suspension, resignation, formal reprimand, to an apology. If you look at some of the issues at hand, we are looking at issues of conflict of interest situations, for example, and how you must guide yourself against, conflict of interest. There are also issues of using your official position improperly for personal advantage. Again, we are being told to guide ourselves against that. And also the general value of honesty and protection of integrity of government, because the president says that he wants a government that has a different character and feel to the one Ghanaians have experienced over the past 8 years.
Right.
We have described the former government as largely arrogant, insensitive, intransigent. So why must we do the same? And it means we must imbibe the right values and if we were to show a marked departure from the character and feel of our government, which will be largely evolved around the conduct of our individual members, as well as, how we behave and interact with our various stakeholders and how we use our power, our influence, and our office. There is a particular matter of members of your family, the asset appointees not allowed to purchase any prohibition from purchasing any state asset, whether direct or indirect. For me, this is really the litmus test, because this is the bane of our corruption, where people use their office to amass wealth for themselves and acquire state properties for patents. It's very unconscionable for me personally. So I think this is one of the greatest tests to the integrity of this government, made up of the individual appointees. How we comply will, to a large extent, stand us in a very good state to be, the best alternative in the eyes of Ghanaians. And so we must really comply. If you have your money and you want to buy your asset, your property, please go and look for your property in the commercial market, but don't come and purchase a government asset, a government building, a government land for pittance. It's really unfair. It's unjust.
Very well. Thank you very much, Shamima Muslim, Deputy Spokesperson at the Presidency.
Thank you for having me.
Right.